Hello, welcome to our classes. I'm Dr. K.K. Mishra. In this video tutorial, I'm covering Constitution of India, specifically framing of the Constitution. Now come to the main slides. The first question is, what is Constitution? As we know that Indian Constitution is one of the longest constitution written all over the world. Here, the word constitution means a document having a special legal sanctity which sets out the framework and principal functions of the government. Constitution of a country gives idea about basic structure of the political system under which its people are to be governed. It defines the powers of the main organs of the state, demarcates their responsibilities and regulates their relationships with each other and with the people. It can also be termed as fundamental law of a country which reflects people's faith and aspirations, and so is the case with even other different nations of the world. Now, as far as framing of the constitution, specifically Indian constitution is concerned, there are certain facts which we need to know about the framing of Indian constitution. Number one, the Constitution of India was framed by a constituent assembly set up under the cabinet mission plan of 1946. Yes, this is started well before we got the independence on August 15, 1947. Number 2. The assembly consisted of 389 members representing the provinces. The numbers was 292, states 93, and the chief commissioner provinces 3 and Baluchistan 1. Initially, this was the representation. So here we must keep in mind that the total representation initially decided was 389. Number 3. The Assembly held its first meeting on December 9, 1946 and elected Dr. Sachidananda Sinha, the oldest member of the Assembly, as the provisional president. This is also a point that we need to keep in our mind. Number 4. On December 11, 1946, the Assembly elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as its permanent chairman. Yes. Now, point 5. The strength of the assembly was reduced now from 389 to 299, 229 representing the provinces and 70 representing the states, following withdrawal of the Muslim League members after the partition of the country. Yes, partition of the country that took place, as we all know. 6. The Constituent Assembly set up 13 committees for framing the constitution. On the basis of the reports of these committees, a draft of the constitution was prepared by a 7-member drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. 7. The draft constitution was published in January 1948 and people were given 8 months to discuss the draft and propose amendments. After the draft was discussed by the people, the press, the provincial assemblies and the constituent assembly, in the light of the suggestions received, the same was finally adopted on November 26, 1949 and was signed by the president of the assembly. 8. Though the major part of the constitution came into force on January 26, 1950, the provisions relating to citizenship, elections and provisional Parliament and temporary and transitional provision came into force with immediate effect from November 26, 1949. Point 9. The Constitution of India was not original document. The framers of the Constitution freely borrowed the good features of the constitutions, obviously from other different nations. 10. However, while adopting these features, they made necessary modifications for its suitability to the Indian conditions and avoided their defects. 11. The constitutions which exercised profound influence on the Indian constitution were that of UK, USA, Ireland and Canada, etc. Here, the parliamentary system of the government, rule of law, law-making procedure and single citizenship were borrowed from the British Constitution. This is the first remarkable point that we need to note, as it may be asked in the examination, that what portion of our Constitution was borrowed from the British Constitution. Let us take another point in this regard. B. Independence of judiciary, judicial review, fundamental rights and guidelines for the removal of judges of the Supreme Court and High Courts were adopted from the US Constitution. C. The federal system with a strong central authority was adopted from Canada. Yes. D. Directive principles of state policy were borrowed from the Constitution of the Republic of Ireland. E. The idea of concurrent list was borrowed from the Austrian Constitution. Now see, they are the constitutions that we borrowed from. F. The provisions relating to emergency were influenced by the Weimar Constitution, in fact, of Germany. G. Above all, the Government of India Act 1935 exercised great influence on the Indian Constitution. The federal scheme, office of governors, powers of federal judiciary, etc. were drawn from this act. In short, the Indian Constitution incorporated the best features of several existing constitutions at that time. This was all about this video tutorial. I hope that you have liked it, and if you have liked it, please do not forget to subscribe and press the bell button and pass it on to others, those who are needy now and in the future. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Best of luck.